If there's someone that you like and that you want to ask out to hopefully turn that into a potential relationship, you need to be 2 steps ahead. Everyone focuses on the first date, thinking it's the most important piece, but it's actually the second date that matters more. First dates are all about that initial impression. You don't really know much about this person other than what you've learned in texting back and forth. You're really there to assess if there's attraction, if there's chemistry, and if there's compatibility between the two of you. You're probably walking in with huge expectations about what they look like, what they sound like, and what the vibe is going to be like when the two of you are finally face to face. And that can create a lot of anxiety. It can build up a lot of nerves. It can set up a lot of awkwardness because you're there with this brand new person. You're putting yourself out there to see what happens. If they don't like you, you move on. But if they do like you, this is where the real magic actually starts to happen. Having a second date with a person means that they have a real genuine interest in learning more about you. You're moving past this let's see what happens phase into let's see where this goes. This is the point in dating where people tend to be a lot less nervous and a lot more relaxed. There isn't as much pressure to impress that person. You're instead focused on the real compatibility. Hey, can we make this a third date and a fourth date and a potential relationship down the line if that's what we both want? First dates tend to be short, simple, and pretty guarded regarding conversation. You don't want to say something that's going to turn them off or give them the ick. You don't want to plan a super long date because if it's awkward in the first 5 minutes, you want to be able to bail, and you don't want to plan something super elaborate. You don't really know this person at all. You want to feel them out before you actually plan a fun, engaging activity with them. But second dates give you a lot more flexibility. Now that you've spent some time with that person, you can focus more on deeper, meaningful conversations. And you can just build off of what you talked about the first time you actually hung out together. You should never leave the potential for a second date up to chance. People do that all the time when they wait too long to contact someone after a great first date, or they just kind of sit around waiting for that person to reach out to them first. If you felt like you had a good time out with someone on a first date, you should be the one reaching out to them to make that second date happen. Don't sit around waiting for anything. Put action into motion here. And there's a lot of things you can do on that first date to help you in that cause. When you're planning that first date, focus on casual conversation and one point of connection. Pick a place where you can just hop in, talk a little bit, and then hop out of. That can be a coffee shop, a park, or even just walking together. The whole point here is just to introduce yourself, learn something interesting about that person, and take that away so that you can plan for something bigger and better if you feel like they're a good fit for you. I've already made a ton of videos in the past teaching you exactly what to do on a first date, but one important thing to remember here is that you want to subtly tease and hint at a potential second date. Remember I said to learn one interesting thing about them. When you do, use that as the setup for the second date. That's going to intrigue them, that's going to build their interest, and it's going to make them actually want to say yes when you ask them out again. It can be something as simple as, wow, your favorite food is cheesecake? I know the place where you can get the very best slice of cheesecake that you've ever had. That's where I'm taking you on our second date. Then, when the date is finally over, message them the next day and tell them how awesome of a time you had with them, and then go back to what you said before. Mention a cheesecake place, mention a time and date, set up that second date. Don't sit there deliberating, do they like me, do they not like me, how long should I wait? If you like them, be proactive. Because if they say yes to that second date, that means that they see the potential in dating you. They see something there that they can build upon, something that they want to explore more of. And this is going to give you the chance to showcase your personality, to put yourself out there more, to go deeper into learning who they are and into showing who you are deep inside. Look, your first date is a movie trailer. You want it to be snappy, eye-catching, and hook people in. That's the purpose of it. But you want your second date or the full-length movie to actually keep people captivated. You don't want them to walk out midway to go see whatever franchise reboot or sequel that just came out. You offer something that is going to keep people in their seats, and you just got to play things up in the right way to actually lead them there. That's why it's so important to start thinking 2 steps ahead as to what a second date can look like with that person. But don't just stop there. Start thinking about what a relationship can look like, what a long-term partnership can look like, not just with that person, but anyone you feel fits your criteria of what you want in your life. The more you can start mapping out what dating success looks like, the easier it's going to be for you to start weeding out people that don't fit the criteria and including the people that truly do.